to Too Many Hats Podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats Podcast. Good morning, my good people. Happy Monday morning to all of you. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, my guy?
Man, good morning, bro.
Man, we were just sitting here talking about before we went live, man, Sunday services and how Sunday's been, man. And I'm telling you, man, we're definitely headed in the right direction. And I just really appreciate, man, the new pastor, Pastor Sam Clark, man, what he's doing, what he's bringing. Uh, just his energy level, man, is different. It's his stick-to-itiveness and just how he's remained faithful and humble throughout this whole point process, man. So shout out to Clark, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's been going on with you, bro?
Man, working, Doc. You know how I get down.
Man, I heard Dallas chopping it up in the background. He gone now. They need to quiet them down now.
I don't know what FIFA they got that man doing. I think he was trying to get him to jump off the couch or something. I don't know what they doing.
He was going ham in there. I thought they had locked him up in a room or something. He was just trying to get out.
Nah, he really coming into his little stuff. That dog is a trip, bro. He's so territorial.
Yeah, that's how they be though, man. Them little dogs, and then the closer they get with you, boy, the worse it is.
Yeah. I woke up the other morning, that joke was all up under me. I'm like, dog, man, move.
Yeah. Did you watch the draft this past weekend?
No, I be moving, bro. So
Well, I had a chance to kind of watch it and kind of observe. I had my phones on even while we was at the prom send off. I had my phones watching and still tapping in. First of all, shout out to Lil Clinton, man. We got a little bit for being valedictorian of Melrose 2025 class, Melrose valedictorian, and we had a beautiful prom send off for her. And man, it was beautiful. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see some of the pictures, man, but beautiful prom send off, man. It was gorgeous. So shout out to her for just doing an outstanding job, and all our children, man, who are out there trying to make a difference, bro. Shout out, man. Carson Fuller, man, just so many just out there just doing positive things and being put in the highlight, man. Shout out to all of them that's doing a great job, all the young folks. But anyway, in watching the draft this weekend, man, first of all, let me say it was an absolute travesty. However you feel about Deion Sanders and his sons, one thing you can't say is that he hasn't done the best trying to put them in the best situation possible for them, man. That's what we should be doing as parents, right?
Absolutely. We say that all the time.
We should be trying to set them up and put them in the best possible. And guess what? If I've already been through a situation, wouldn't I try to steer you, if you my child, in the right direction, or steer you through a situation or around a situation that prevent you from having to go through what I went through, maybe, or some other the people I know went through?
Yeah, absolutely.
So some of the critics, man, like, and some of the stuff that was said this weekend, first of all, the way they treated him was an absolute travesty. Like him going 5th round over, and he was projected to be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback, period. And him to go 6 in terms of a quarterback to come off the board at number 6. And you can say all you want to about, well, it's about the fit. It's about this and that. Oh, Deion messed it up for him. Man, Deion did what he's supposed to do. Archie Manning did the exact same thing with Eli them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an issue when Archie did it. So
Right.
why is it an issue now? I posted a video where Eli, the lady asked him, so the Chargers had the first pick in Eli's draft. And the lady asked him, Flatfoot asked him, why is it that you don't want to play for the Chargers? Well, I have my reasons, blah, blah, blah. And then the Chargers drafted him and then traded him.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me, like, what Deion said when he said that, yeah, there are some teams I just won't allow them to play for. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
So I think to snub him like they did, or whatever point they was trying to make, bro, you know, and shout out to Cleveland for actually drafting them, you know, and giving them a shot to at least compete for a position. And then, you know, I knew when they snubbed Shedeur, Shiloh didn't have a chance of being drafted.
Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, folks don't always try to make stuff be deep and, you know, and make it be spiritual. But I can say this, just that whole scenario with what Deion been going through with his sons and everything, delay is not denial, Doc. So one thing about it, that you can't hold them folks down, man. They stood the course of time. And I think it's just a testament to them to keep on going regardless of what hit their page, man.
Yeah, and how they handle the stuff, how they handled the whole situation was, bro. You can't, man. Like everybody else, I probably would have threw a tantrum, acted a fool, and some more. But the way them boys handled, and they dad, all of the whole family handled this whole situation, this ordeal, bro, was real stand up, bro. Real, you know how they handled it. And so, man, my big shout out to them, man. But what I really want to talk about this morning, man, is when are apologies considered real, sincere, or fake? And I asked that question because during this draft process as well, Shedeur actually received a prank call.
Yeah.
By this young white kid telling him that he was the manager of such and such, the general manager of such team, and told him we taking you off the board and da. And it was an absolute prank call that, to be honest with you, you know, I don't know how you consider the draft, but the draft probably is one of the biggest things, man, of a young football players or NBA player or baseball players or whatever, you know, that's a big part of, man, they journey, bro, to go through that process.
I mean, you done worked all this time, you know, you talking about elementary school, high school, middle school, you know, you had
to
these
get to that point,
admiration, then to get to that point, oh yeah, that's like that's the apex of it.
And to have somebody prank call you in that moment, bro, was disgusting. Now, at this time, at the time that it happened, I don't think anybody was aware that this boy was actually a coach's son. Because the first thing that came to my mind was, how did he get Shedeur's telephone number? He must know Shedeur, right? That's the first thing I said. I said he got to know Shedeur to have his number, have his personal number, because that boy ain't just handing his number out, you know. So come to find out, this young man was actually the son of one of the Atlanta Falcons coaches.
Wow.
And he happened to be at his dad's house and saw Shedeur's name on the prospect board and number and took it down, snuck it and took it down, and then went and prank called him. And so this is the apology. This is a couple of apologies that was issued. And so that's what made me bring it up. So when is it fake? When is it sincere? When is it this? The Falcon says, this is a statement they released. Earlier in the week, Jake's Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, unintentionally came across the draft
Come on.
contact phone number for Shedeur Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Jeff Ulbrich was unaware of the data exposure or any facets of the prank and was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, who we have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jakes to the Sanders family. We have also been in contact with the NFL and continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the NFL league office. We are thoroughly reviewing the protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. Falcons.
Damn.
Bro, that's one apology. Marcus says if the apology only happens because you feel guilty or because you were caught doing something, in my opinion, it's absolutely fake. Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? Joseph said they call themselves humbling the young brother. I don't know him, but the kid came off a little arrogant to me. Seemed like he was trying to establish his brand already. He ain't won no ring yet, nowhere. My opinion, this paying college student for the image. Okay, so let me say this, bro. This man is the son of Deion Sanders. Go back and look at videos of the draft or the whole process prior to Deion Sanders being drafted at 21, 22 years old. He was absolute flashy. He told you what he wasn't going to do. He told you who he was. He spoke it. So I think what you said arrogant, that's your interpretation, because I don't feel like it's arrogance, you know. And my thing is, his whole life, Deion has showed them how to respond, how to be humble, how to walk in their success, how to be successful. They whole entire life, bro. You can't fault that man for having a brand and teaching his kids how to be a brand and have a brand. The legendary brand, his son, Wolf, the Wolf brand, Deion Sanders Jr. You can't fault them boys for having a brand because they dad had taught them that. That's who their dad is. You can't fault him for that. And that didn't come off arrogant. You can't confuse confidence with arrogance. It would be a different thing, bro, if Shedeur went out there talking noise and talking crazy. Now, it ain't off his pop's success. It's what's been taught to him by his pops, bro. That's a difference. He ain't riding the coat. He's not riding the coattail of Deion's success, bro. He have been successful. Look at what he did. High school, four state titles in high school. 4 state titles. Went to college at Jackson State and won the SWAC and all that stuff at Jackson State. Left Jackson State, they said, well, you was at an HBCU. You can't do that on a larger FBS level. So then he come up to Colorado, where Colorado ain't been relevant in 20 years, bro. And they went from a 11-1 season or 10-1 season to the first year winning 4 games and the next year winning 9 games. Come on, bro. That's winning, bro. He's won everywhere he went, and he, not to mention all the records he broke in Colorado at FBS level, the records he broke. You ain't gonna tell me he ain't done nothing. He ain't had no success. That's not riding off your pop success. That's you going out there and performing, bro. So y'all can kill me with that. No, that's just that don't make him legendary. That's just the name of his brand. That's what he's called it. His brand, legendary. I can call my brand whatever I want to. I call my brand amazing. You may think ain't nothing I do amazing. but that's my brand.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's paramount. And this kind of on the subject, but off the subject, bro. Like, and that's why our society is so jacked up, bro. Like, with fathers already not being in families' homes and stuff like that, bro, to be able to follow that track record and that generation of wealth and branding in your family like that, in a black family, come on, bro. We ought to be a man. That's just big, bro. I don't care no way you cut it or slice it, man. And you ain't had that in a long time to where it's been a track record like that, and they don't kind of kept their name out of the tableau, so to speak. You see what I'm saying?
The boys ain't never been in trouble. None of that stuff. They ain't never been to jail, never been in trouble, none of that stuff. So Joseph, you talk about him and him riding his pop success. What about Eli Manning and Peyton? Archie, so they wasn't riding Archie's Manning success. It wasn't talked about that way. He got up there and said, I'm not going to play for the Chargers. I don't want to play for the Chargers. So that didn't make him arrogant. Nobody said nothing about that, bro. So why is it a problem if Deion says there's some teams I just will not let my son play for because I know how they operate? That's me experiencing how teams operate and how they, facilitate things, and I don't want my sons to be a part of that.
Which is a blessing within itself.
Like you just said, it's a lot of fathers and kids like to give them advice and just share with them, hey, don't do that. I did that. I did the same thing with my boys. So I'm going to try to put them in the best situation possible for them. And because Deion did this, and because Deion is who he is, he's very successful at everything he's done. People love to hate on him, and them boys are feeling the pain of Deion's hate because of who they are. Yeah. And it's just not right on so many levels, bro. It ain't. I don't care how you look at it. You can say arrogant, this, that. I do think the NIL, has messed up college football or college sports, period. Because now everybody's about a payday. Look at the Tennessee quarterback, Nico, that wanted all this money in a $2 million car and all this stuff, and now he had another school playing because they said we ain't going for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the kids deserve to be paid, but the NIL, bro, they went to a whole nother level of paying. These kids getting $5-6 million in college. Hell, if you do right in college and make enough money, you ain't got to go play pro. You can go sit down somewhere and just take your money and invest it in other things. Yeah. And that's what Shedeur did. Shedeur, under the advisement of his dad, invested his money in his brand and started creating a brand for himself. And the same with Deion Sanders Jr. with the videography stuff. He created his own brand. Yep. And these boys got talent, bro. I watched a video yesterday of Shallow sitting down to a piano. He said, hey, this is a piano I grew up playing. They probably ain't out of tune. And the boy sit there and played the crap out of the piano. Didn't even know he had that kind of talent. But that just goes to show you the stuff that Deion has implemented and put in their life, or you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna knock what this man is doing for his boys or have done for his boys or his daughters. In that regard, you want what's best for your kids. But we're talking about
that's what you made out of success for.
Yeah, we talking about the apology. The apology. When is the apology fake, real, and all that? Because what was done to him, bro, was a travesty. The prank call just added insult to injury. And so we talked about the letter from the Falcons, and they also got a apology and a call from the actual boy who did the prank call. But Mel says, good morning, yep, and don't apologize because you think I'm upset or you was caught it won't come off as sincere, and it won't be able to trust you from what comes from that. What comes from the heart reaches the heart. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus says, if I'm backing up everything I do and say, am I cocky or am I confident in walking how I talk it? Hello? And that's what I'm saying. He ain't arrogant. Everything he did everything he said he want to do in college.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they didn't win a national title. Come on, bro. You come from 2 years before that Deion got there. They won one game. Come on. I agree. He is a little extra extravagant, but so was Mayweather, who talked much stuff, but also backed it up. And it's a lot of it's a lot of black guys or black athletes, period, that are flashy. You could do if I go out there and earn $6 million, I'm gonna spend my $6 million however the hell I want it. I earned it. You ain't gonna tell me how to spend my money. If I blow the whole $6 million, it ain't your business.
But at some point, man, you got to be able to just toot your own horn, man. You don't work hard, you don't labor hard, and we live in a society now that we do confuse cocky for confidence. And my thing is, when you don't put in work and did what you don't do, you ought to be able to stick your chest out and say, "Nigga, I did that." Period.
Boy, I ain't even had the level of success in terms of them boys or a lot of other people. But when I was young, I was so confident in my ability to do stuff. I was often labeled cocky, bro. You know this, Lavelle. I was often labeled cocky. It was people that were scared to come work for me because they were like, "Ooh, man," they said he went. But when they came and worked for me, what they say, Lavelle? You ain't nothing like people say you are. Because they didn't know me. They just looking from the outside, and because my confidence I was exuding in my confidence, they said, "Oh, he arrogant, he cocky." No, I was confident in my ability to get the job done, and I got the job done. So I understand being labeled. I watched an athlete that played at Oklahoma State. He said, "I know exactly what Shedeur is going through." He said, "When I was at Oklahoma State," he said, "I was in the we were getting ready to work out." He said, "And I went to holler the end, because I'm fired up. I'm ready to work out, ready to get the workout, pumping myself up." And he said the coach pulled him to the side and said, Why are you yelling and hollering? Why are you bringing so much attention to? Why is it always got to be about you?" He said, "Coach, I'm just trying to get in them. We finna work out, getting them." He said the white quarterback came in and did a holler, and they called him a leader and said they love his energy.
You know how they go.
But I'm just saying, when we do it, bro, Kendrick Lamar said it's a thing. They not like us. When we do it, it's different. When they do it, everything is A-okay. The Manning thing was the same, and it was Eli pulled his move, not Peyton. But I'm just saying, Archer was there in both of their life, bro. That's why I mentioned Peyton. Archer was there to direct both of them in their careers, the whole from day one. And he's doing the same thing with little Arch Manning that's coming up behind him. Not Peyton. Oh, and if his name wasn't Sanders, tell me if this would be a conversation. No, and that's what we're saying. They only hating on him because he's Deion Sanders' son, and because what Deion has done and the success Deion has had, and because he's teaching his boys how to be successful. Come on, bro. And Archie Manning did the same for his boys. It's no different. It was the same thing, but people didn't say it was disgusting. It was arrogant of him to do that. It was this, that. They didn't say that.
They ain't gonna say it because that's how they used to roll, and you gonna let that,
bro. So all the hate on Shedeur and Deion them, bro, is just what it is. Negroes and white folk hating. That's what it is. Them folk can do what they want to, man. If I make $1 million, you can't tell me how the hell to spend my $1 million. If I want to go out here and buy me $1 million chain with $1 million and broke after that, so I just earned that $1 million. And if I want to be broke, let me be broke. Everybody, he's so flashy, had all the chains. Let that man spend all his money how he want to. Them kids is set up for life if they never play football again.
Yep, so it is.
And you gonna tell me, coach, I go out there. What if I never played sports and my daddy went out there and became an oil tycoon and then died and left me the $5 billion? I'm entitled because my daddy worked out hard and became an oil tycoon and left me money. It's my fault my daddy was an oil billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we say something stupid and ignorant and shit, bro. They entitled. Man, get out of here, bro. I ain't trying to hear that, bro. I ain't trying to hear that. So the apology, back to the apology. When are apologies considered real, sincere, or just fake? Monica said if the apology is because you felt guilty or you got caught doing it, in my opinion, is absolutely fake. Mel said, yep, don't apologize just because you think I'm upset or you was caught. And then they say it won't come off as sincere and she won't be able to trust you because what comes from the heart reaches the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that, and I just shared the Falcons apology, and I think that the Falcons, do I think that the assistant coach actually knew that his son got your door number and did? No, I don't think that. So I think what the Falcons did was hey, what they were supposed to do as a business. This happened on our watch. We didn't realize it until after it happened, and we're looking at the protocols and all this stuff and how we can move forward. And so he can't, bro. That's your opinion, Joseph. That's your opinion, bro. If you feel like he ain't legendary, that's your opinion. But like I just said, it's a brand. That don't mean he's legendary. That's his brand, bro. So you confusing a brand with what a person is, bro. So yeah. That's just like you. If you branded, if you had went out there and started a business and you branded it something, I can't tell you can't call your business that because you not that. No, that's the brand of your business. So
you may not think I'm a loving person, but my name DJ One Love. That's who I am.
Yeah, right. And you might say, well, he don't show nobody no love. He can't be DJ One Love. That's his brand. Yeah. Monica said a lot of folk have talents, but do not believe in themselves. Confidence is necessary. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway, back to the when is apologies sincere or fake? When are they considered fake or whatever? So here's the actual apology from the young man. And when you look at his apology, it's I think it was only because he got caught. He said on Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shadua, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. Was it inexcusable, embarrassing, or shameful while you was doing it? Because watching the video of you doing it, oh, you was having fun, boy. You and your homeboys were having fun.
God, that was intentional.
Yes. So it wasn't inexcusable, embarrassing, or shameful then, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. Absolutely. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and mess with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you could find it in your heart to forgive me. So why was this necessary if I already called you and apologized?
They made him do that.
But that's what I'm saying. If I called you and apologized, then we should be good. Why do I have to write this statement and put it out there?
Politics. That's all that is. Politics.
Yeah, we sure can. Monica said, even though the apology could be fake, sometimes you go ahead and accept the apology for your own peace. Yeah, I guess.
Been there, done that.
Uh, Brandon said, "Good morning, fellas. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. The entire Sanders family has structure and standards. All of it was a hate gesture tried to embarrass Shadua." Yep.
Period.
Uh, Joseph said they didn't want to apologize. These was a prank and went bad because of who was in the situation. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So they didn't really want to apologize, but because you didn't put your dad in a situation because your dad is the coach on the team, and they know that's the only way you got that boy number, because you couldn't have got that boy number any other kind of way but through knowing somebody. And so to save face with your daddy and your dad's team who employs him, you had to do that. So this is one of those clear-cut cases of, and to be honest with you, they didn't get caught. They stupid enough to record it.
Yeah.
They recorded the prank and then put it on social media. That was the stupid part. Why would you record the prank and put it out there if you didn't want to get caught, knowing who your daddy was? So that's why it's hard for me to say it was inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I don't feel like you felt that way.
He didn't even write that. Somebody wrote that for him, Doc.
And they tried to make it like a young person wrote it. They changed up maybe how they presented it. Yeah.
He didn't write that. He didn't write that.
Or they told him what to say. One of the two. Somebody told him what to say.
Yeah.
Bill Max says, no, it was funny when y'all did it. Only if you got caught, you was made to make the statement to keep your father from getting in trouble.
and they know Dion don't play like that. Dion gonna come for their neck.
and still is. I guarantee you. Because that prank was, that was a hurtful prank, bro. I don't care how you look at it, on what level. It wasn't funny. That was, like I said, in that moment where a kid is looking to hear his name called and to get a call from a GM saying, "Hey, we're gonna take you," and then you do that's jacked up, bro. Monka said, "I was just about to say."
It would have been the other way around. If he would have done it, he would have been reprimanded for it.
Right. She said, "Hit him with the sound effect, Dale." She said, "Not the music, Lord, holler." Yeah. So I went straight to the comments, bro. When I saw his apology, I went straight to the comments. And the comments, because I said, "Well, this just sounds so freaking fake," to the point like,
Doc.
it's I was irritated by the whole thing, because I'm like, stand on business, bro. You were standing on business when you called stand on business and say, "Hey, I did it."
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. I did it. Was it the right thing to do? No. And I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But to say, it's inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful, I took this selfish and childish. You knew all that when you was doing it.
Yeah, Doc.
Do you think this has happened to anyone else that's about to be drafted? No.
I've never heard anything like that.
I've never heard, and I'm gonna tell you the only reason it happened to him, because he was projected by all of the analysts and everybody else. He was projected to be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback off the board, period, and to be a top 10 pick, period. He was projected to be a top 10 pick in the draft. And because he didn't get picked in the first round, period, and I don't know if this prank was done in the second round or the third round, but it was done somewhere in there. I can't remember when it was done, and it was done in the second round or third round. But it was to, he ain't came off the board. Ha, 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 ha. Let me just prank him and tell him he finna get drafted. So I don't think this has ever happened to anyone else that I know of. I don't ever remember anybody that was supposed to go in the top 10, not going. Only time I've seen people slide out of the first round or not get drafted, period, is when right before the draft, they did something stupid like this one. I remember the LSU lineman that we ended up drafting as an undrafted free, or he ended up getting drafted as an undrafted free agent, was a first round pick, and he got in some trouble. And when he got into trouble, his stock value, his draft value just plummeted because they were like, oh, this dude might be going to jail. So he didn't get drafted. And then after the draft, it was like, oh, he's been cleared, but they didn't mess his draft up. He's been cleared of that, and he signed an undrafted free agent deal with the Dallas Cowboys. So I've seen instances like that, but never where a kid haven't got in trouble, but nothing, and it just off his dad's name and reputation and who he is, go from the first round to the 5th round, bro. That's absolutely ludicrous.
Right.
And it's been so many analysts on both sides that have said this was crazy. And then you got GMs that saying anonymously saying, "Oh, well, he didn't interview well." And I say who you are. If you're gonna talk, say who you are. Don't do it anonymously. Make it anonymous statements. Say who you are.
Right.
And a number of people have got on social media and called these people out. That's a coward move. So anyway. I feel like an apology is sincere. When Mayor said it, that which comes from the heart reaches the heart. If you get a heartfelt apology,
I like what Don said
it's gonna touch my
earlier
heart.
this week when everything went down.
Wrong. Huh?
He said, if you pick first, last, or not at all, it doesn't diminish your value.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? He gonna come back and kick him in their damn teeth.
I do believe that. I do believe that he's gonna go compete for. And look, the Browns are really in a hell of a situation, bro.
Well, they've been projected like that for the last couple of years or so. So
they're in a good situation now, bro. They got Dylan Gabriel, who's a pretty decent quarterback. They got Shedeur Sanders. They got Kenny Pickett. They got a seasoned veteran Flacco, and they got Deshaun Watson, who probably he probably on his way out the door. All the trouble he keep getting in, he probably about to go anyway. So I would say he is definitely on his way out the door. And so you think about them 4 quarterbacks. So I think you say, well, Joe Flacco is definitely gonna be our starter because he can kind of get. But if Joe Flacco can lead these younger guys, and then you make it a competition between Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur for the backup, and say who become. Let's just say Dylan Gabriel, or let's say Kenny Pickett wins out for the second spot, and then we're gonna keep Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur as a third quarterback. You got another high draft pick or a draft pick that you could trade off for a team that's hurting, because what happens is, bro, them first 3, 4, 5 games, we done seen quarterbacks get knocked out the first game, done for the season. Now you got a really unstable backup that you got to bring other quarterbacks in. So I'm saying the Browns gonna have some bargaining tools, bro. Like really. Monica says, I'm not a super football team fan. I love the underdog players, though. I can't wait to see this baby shine this year. Many prayers for him, for sure. Joseph said, when would the kid get a start? Cleveland got quarterback. That's what I'm saying. It make a competition, but I'm saying Cleveland is in a good spot because when these other teams start hurting and need a quarterback, they're going to come to Cleveland. And Cleveland going to say, hey, what you willing to give me for it? What you willing to give me for it? My brother been a diehard Brown fan. I might have to get matching jersey with him. I already called and told him I need a jersey. If Shedeur make the team, I'm getting me a Cleveland Browns Shedeur jersey if he make the team.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting me a team. So anyway.
So when you put the question out there, I went and did some research, and some folks think real and sincere may be the same thing. But I just went and did some little stuff. It says real generally refers to something actual or genuine existing in the objective world, while sincere describes a genuine or truthful feeling or expression.
Mm-hmm.
So they really not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
real emphasizes existence and authenticity, whereas sincere focuses on the absence of hypocrisy and genuine feeling.
Yeah. So I think like a real apology is somebody that like, oh, I really didn't know that I offended you or whatever, and I'm apologize because I think I really didn't know and I apologize. And you can feel, okay, that was real, you know what I'm saying? And I really feel like you really didn't know. And then a sincere apologize was, well, you kind of know, but you knew you was wrong for it. And you was really sincere about how you felt in your apology because that you really felt like I really hurt this person. I shouldn't have done this. But then you got that fake shit where you saying, "Oh, I got caught, and it's hurt. Let me just go on and throw it out there so I can put."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that boy, them Steeler. When I tell you, them Steeler fans were so mad. Them Steeler fans, it was. I seen about 12, 15 Steeler fans saying they quitting their team because they didn't get no quarterback. They didn't go get no quarterback.
Mm.
She said, being a Steeler fan, I'll be in trouble buying Browns, get LOL, get find me some socks. She said she gonna find her some socks or something. Yeah. But I saw a lot of Steeler fans mad because y'all didn't take a quarterback. And a person like Shador who was out there, y'all could have took, and had a chance to compete. So yeah. And I think he's definitely gonna bring an element of competition, and if he get, it's a lot of quarterback whispers in the NFL, man. And what you got to think about is Cam Ward and Shador Sanders have been working with the same quarterback guru since getting to college out of high school. Well, Cam just started working with the dude, going into college. Going into FBS from me because I think he came from Division II or Division III or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he started working with that same quarterback group. But it's a dude, a quarterback trainer that they've been working with, bro. Them boys been working with in off season. So it's out there. Craig said, "This is so political. I don't even care no more. I'm a Steelers fan for sure. Pittsburgh have been making crazy decisions over the years." Yep. Monka said them Cowboys should have took him, and I absolutely agree. To be honest with you, after we got that offensive lineman and the defensive lineman, and that edge rusher, I said, "Oh, it's a third round. Shit, man, we might get step out there." I thought at least if we didn't get Shador, we would get shallow because we always need good cornerbacks, and safeties. And I said, if we don't get Shador, at least get shallow. And they didn't even get shallow. They didn't even think enough of shallow, but that's Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones knew how look, Jerry Jones had Deion.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was dealing with Deion.
Yeah.
He said, no. if Dallas get a solid quarterback, that's an easy Super Bowl for real. Dak is holding y'all back for sure. Oh, I've been saying that. I'm telling you, if the Cowboys really, if we really wanted to do something, I felt like even if we just got shallow in round 5 or 6 or 7, I felt like we should have got shallow. I do feel like we should have got shallow because we always need a good. And he can hit. He'll downhill, go get him, hitter, and he can cover. He can cover on the back end. What I like about him, man, he had 6 or 8 strip fumbles. So, and 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll ball hard and he know how to hit. From a Pittsburgh fan, it was so hard for me to just say that LOL. What's going on?
Well, I really don't have no dog in that fight because I don't necessarily have no team per se, but I just knew.
Your wife got a team though, so you supposed to roll with your wife team.
Well, I'm just keeping it book. I knew because they was already gambling up behind the scenes before they made stuff be legal, but I knew when they implemented where you can actually gamble legally with these sports and stuff now. I said, man, this is gonna be one big ass fiasco.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same with college football. I still feel like college football is way more pure than even with the presence of NIL. College football is still way more pure than the pros. The pros, man, you got so many prima donnas out there. The pros is something else, bro. It's a different level. But even with because every kid in college ain't getting no NIL money, no big NIL money.
That's true.
So some of them jokers saying, I gotta hustle to get to that point to either get me some NIL money before I get out of here or get to the next level to get me some money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it happens. So when I just think that if I did something unintentional to somebody, it wasn't my intention, and I apologize. I put that in the category of being more real, even kind of sincere in terms of an apology. But when I intentionally do something knowing that it's gonna cause you some harm or some hurt, and I intentionally do it, and I don't have no remorse after doing it, there is no remorse, and I come to you and apologize, that was just something to, just something to
here again, it goes back to our panel discussion. We talking about counterfeit culture. Man, even being sincere and being real about apology now is not even being accepted no more. You know what I'm saying? And then you can just tell the way that stuff was done and fabricated and all that. Man, keep all that, man. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't even want to hear it, bro. Keep that. I don't want to hear that, dog. Come on, man.
Joseph said Dak is the problem, but the entire organization is the Raiders under Al Davis. 31 brands branding over football. Hey, come to think about it, should Shadua fit right in with the Cowboys and pro individual van. I think that, and I think that he would at least gave us a better chance. Cause to me, he's more accurate. He's more of a gunslinger, but he's more accurate than Dak Prescott, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that once he gets the timing down of the NFL, because the NFL move a lot faster. But one of the things I love about Shadua is a thinker in terms of how he processes things. Like he's really good with processing stuff. So in terms of picking up schemes and all that stuff, because he can talk it. And he even had NFL coaches type in his ear all his career.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, people don't be sorry; they just be caught. Exactly.
That would it be.
And with this little boy, bro, like he wasn't caught. He basically they recorded it. He posted it on social media. So that was a level of idiocy. Is that a word, idiocy?
At this point, it is.
That was a level of idiotic. Like I don't even know what the word is for that, but that was I guess it's no different than me when we go out here. Just like I saw a lady, I guess this white lady had called this black lady a nigga. And she went over there and snatched the lady from behind, started beating the lady. The lady would holler, I'm sorry. And somebody recording, I'm saying, but you fool, now you got assault. You on camera, assault this lady, you finna go to jail for assault and battery. Like, I just don't understand, like, why don't we record ourselves or allow people to record us committing crimes and doing stuff?
Well, it ain't no more different than you got these guys not supposed to be so hard and I'm a killer and all this stuff. Killers don't tell folks they finna kill them. Why would
some of them do? They crazy like that.
It don't make no sense though.
It don't make sense. But that's what we're telling you. We're living in a world now where a lot of stuff they do don't make sense.
Hey, come on, bro. How you gonna tell your enemy when you finna attack?
Right. Oh wait, I'm waiting on them to come.
Oh my God.
Clark said yesterday his message, pull up on that.
Man, what?
sometimes we intentionally do things, but we later apologize after the fact. I think it could still be a sincere apology. Some things are done without thinking first.
Yeah, I kind of agree because I've been in a situation like that. But in my
Yeah.
heart of hearts, in my spirits, I was like, man, F dude, bro.
But you don't. When you say you don't think, if I pull up some Mark, I pull up your name and I know you finna be up for a promotion on your job, and then I find out the person who is the manager of this particular organization, and I write their name down, and I write out a whole script for what I'm finna say and how I'm finna offer you the job and tell you be here on Monday to show up, and I write all that out, and I call you and I say all that. That's well thought out and plotted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not I didn't wasn't thinking about it, I just did it. That's intentional.
Yeah, that
When
was
you
it.
intentional call somebody some harm or hurt, ain't no I wasn't thinking. That was intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I ain't buying the apology when it's intentional.
And they wanted to kick him while he was down. You know what I'm saying? They their family already getting all this attention and all this limelight and all this stuff. And let's just keep it a buck, man. These white folks don't like them folk, bro. They don't went to this Ivy League white school that wasn't doing a goddamn thing and turned it all the way around. Come on, bro. Let's keep it a buck.
Them folks that went to Colorado and turned Colorado to a hip school to go to again, to the point that the enrollment went up by, I think they said 12%.
Come on, bro. They got superstars and movie stars coming to the game. Lil Wayne and different ones coming to the game. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even Colorado fans. Just the fact that Sanders done went turn this thing into something that y'all weren't even expecting for it to be.
Cause they expected for him to get over there and fail. Oh, he can't coach. He can't coach at this level. And he went over there winning. Deion saying, I ain't gonna be denied.
Yep.
Craig said, I really hope Shedeur shits on everyone who's doubting him, and he proves an even bigger point to all of them in league owners. Yep. But I'm gonna tell y'all what this really felt like. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I was seeing this whole process play out, I saw the Colin Kaepernick thing all back over again.
Yep. I was just thinking that a few minutes ago, bro.
Yep. That's what I felt like. I said, and I told Monica, I said, I feel like this the Colin Kaepernick situation all back over again.
Yep.
And I said, and I told Monica, I said, this kind of scary now. We're in the 5th round. This kind of scary now. I said, because Colin Kaepernick never got another shot again. Nobody would give him a shot.
But watch this though. This what's so powerful about this right here though. And he may never. I don't know if he ever will get a chance, but he's still training. Your mindset got to be something totally different to say, man, these folks ain't gonna never pick me up, but I'm gonna keep training.
Yep. Yeah. And he was still making money. It was still people. He was out there still making money with his brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What we talk about with his brand.
Mm-hmm.
I think he signed a big deal with Nike and somebody else, so he was still making money.
Yeah.
Monka said it definitely depends on the situation, but make it personal and think about the wrong you done that you later apologize for. Was it sincere?
I don't know.
Craig said at some point the moral compass gonna kick in regardless of any situation. People think beforehand it's more of who's the person at hand and who they ain't moving right about. Anytime black folks gets positive light shine on them, Saltines gonna try to dim the light every time. Yep.
Yep. And that's what that dude was doing.
Blackball railroaded. I hated to watch that process. Yeah, how they did it was wrong. It was really wrong. So anyway, man, let's clock that tea. We ain't clocked that tea Friday with our girl, man. So we got some teas to catch up on. Let's clock that tea with our girl, Queen Watkins.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them thumbs down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins. But But y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tick. Have y'all seen the video of the man from China that's exposing all luxury bags that we've been buying? Yeah. Let's talk about it. So allegedly, there's a guy that's from China. He allegedly made 80% of the luxury bags that we have in the United States, such as Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Birkin. He stated that none of those bags are real, right? Those bags we spending thousands of dollars on, $5,000, $3,000, $2,000. You know, those bags are not real. He said that what Louis is doing is basically once the bag is almost made in China, they'll get the bag and they'll put a different label on it because anything that's made in China allegedly is not real, right? So the bags, the Louis Birkin, the Gucci, those bags are made in China, but they're changing the tag to say made in Italy, made in France. So people can feel like they have a luxury bag whole time. The bags are fake. And they just giving some champagne while you in the store shopping, making you feel like you getting you a luxury bag and hold.
But this hold on. But this I ain't gonna say the bags are fake because a lot of these bags are actually made in China for real. Like the brands, the companies have these workshops, these what you call them? These big they used to use child labor in them, but now they use, they probably still using some child labor, some of them. But in China, they actually have companies that making these bags and watches and all this stuff for these companies who's saying that they're making them in other places. That don't mean they fake. That just mean they just being made in another institution, another manufacturer, and not being made in Italy or some of the places like they're saying they made in. So they not fake. Let's just say that they just not being made in Italy or the places they're saying.
Well, I mean, majority of stuff is not
He
made like
just
that
got some
because of the
stuff
label
off
that
of
it costs about it.
DH Gates.
Yep.
Now, DH Gates is a fire-ass website, so don't get me wrong. See, me, it's not how much you spend on it, it's how you wear it. So you not about to catch me unless somebody is purchasing it for me. You not about to catch me paying no $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for a purse. I'd rather pay about $200 for a purse, $100 for a purse, and put them bands inside the purse. Because half the time, y'all got these high-ass purses and they are as empty as the air outside for real. There's nothing in there besides the lip gloss and maybe a credit card. I don't know, but it ain't no money on in there. You spend all your money on that daggone purse. But the man from China is basically saying, like, beware, get charged purses from their factory and compare the ones that they have to the new ones, because to the luxury, so to say, ones in the United States, because what they're doing is they're imprinting labels and they're also putting tags on there, basically making it seem like that they're from Italy and France. Y'all better be careful, baby. Don't let these high price places, because apparently they already have. But now that you have the knowledge of it, I definitely look into it because, baby, I already feel like there's way too much money anyway to pay on a purse. And I love purses. But come on, 6 bands, 7 bands, please. Baby, give me that money so I can put it in my pocket. All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Million Hits, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins Clock. That's it. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Now, let me share this with y'all.
This store made me put on gloves just to enter. But let me show y'all why. We're in Shanghai, China, and this is the largest consignment store in the world. I know what you're thinking. I'm in China, so it must not be real. But I'm dropping the name below. Do your own research. Every item here goes through a strict authentication process. Now, on to the bags. I've never seen this many bags in one place. And my girl owns a vintage shop. We do all the buys together. And by far, this is the craziest place I've ever seen. We were in here from opening to closing. Twice. This wall of Birkins is insane. Every color you could think of. Besides bags, there were watches, both men's and women's. All different types of wallets, belts, accessories, sunglasses. Everything was organized by brand, and they have every single luxury brand. Only annoying part was you had to check the prices on their app. Because this is a consignment store, the sellers can change their prices at any point. I've never seen so many limited edition pieces in one place. We hit the Chanel room in the back, and we was in there for another few hours. If you're on a hunt for a new Chanel, you need to come here. Overall, this was a 100 out of 10 recommend. Don't say I ain't put y'all on. Our haul was crazy. Go follow Rebelonging. This store made me...
So yeah, you can go to China and get anything you want, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is made in China anyway. This stuff ain't made in Italy and all these places like y'all think.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all around here spending $3,000-$4,000. Y'all better go where that shit being made at. It's a girl online. I think I sent it to Queen. It's a girl that's she goes to a manufacturer in China and creates her own brand name and send it, and then they send her the bags, and she's like, y'all around here paying $3,000, $30,000 for a bag, and I'm around here telling y'all to shop black on while I'm designing my own bag, and I've been trying to put y'all in game. Y'all can design y'all own bags or design own stuff, and she's selling her own brand.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't spend the money on her because we don't know her name, but we know Louis, we know Gucci, we know Birkin, we know. But hell, we ain't always knew them. We ain't know Birkin and all that until somebody famous wore a Birkin bag and they said, oh, this is Birkin. Oh, let me go get me a Birkin bag. All it takes is for one person famous to take that girl purse and say, this is a blah, 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 blah. Everybody going, who can I get that bag from?
But even like now, man, with those luxurious brands, you know, they're supposed to have some kind of quality and, you know, just, you know, a brand and name behind it, so to speak. It's like now, I mean, so what's the longest standing brand that you would say that has stood the test of time with some of these
Probably
brands?
Louis Vuitton. Probably
So
Louis Vuitton or yeah. I don't know. I guess if you had to you probably had to research it. I don't know.
yeah.
It just seems like Louis been around, Gucci been around a long time. They just seem like they've been around a long time. But it wasn't until some of those brands and some of the newer brands we made them popular.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, really, if the girl was smart, she need to send that bag, some of her bags to Glorilla or some of them people and say, hey, where does it advertise this bag? And tell people, look, you ain't got to spend $3,000. Come over here and spend $300 with me.
Mm-hmm. But for some reason in our thought process, we think the more it costs, the better it is.
That we've always did. We've always thought like
you think it'd be nice and it costs because it costs this. I've tasted some cognac. They're supposed to be top tier. That shit was horrible.
Mm-hmm. Just because it was $1,000 a bottle.
No, I'm
you
good.
go over here, this $60 bottle of cognac, fine.
I don't want it. I don't want
Morgan say, I love me a good bag if it look good, it's mine. But hey, spend it how you got it. I ain't gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So anywho, man, good show today, man. Good show, another good show, man. Thank you guys so much for your input on just apologies and when they're sincere or when they're real or when they're fake. But we have to continue. Look, man, we can't be out here intentionally doing stuff to cause people harm or hurt and then come back and just because we apologize think it's okay. No.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So let's try to do the right thing by people, man, and do what's right by people. Now, if you unintentionally do something and you just wasn't feel like you hurt somebody's feelings and you apologize, that's different. But I ain't gonna intentionally cause Avil harm, and I know it's causing him harm.
Right.
Then go and apologize for it.
Mhm.
Don't intentionally do something to me, because if you try to apologize to me and I know you intentionally try to do something, I'm not even trying to hear your apology.
Mm-hmm.
So you call me non-Christian or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, bro.
But an apology, bro, is you know, I don't know, bro. You apologize, but okay. Don't expect me to accept every apology. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Look, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Appreciate you out, man. Like last week's conversation, bro, about our kid. Shout out to Marcus Young for coming on, sharing with us. Shout out to Marcus Fuller for coming on, sharing with us last week. Shout out to Mustang, aka Bonner, aka Mustang, for coming on and sharing. I think his probably was the most touching to me.
It was.
Because he's actually lived through a situation where he picked up and not being taught the right thing at a young age and having to go and deal with the consequences and then rebound from it. So, so shout out to all them, man, for coming on and being a part of the show last week, man. We appreciate them. But man, look, that's it, bro. Come on, close us out with a prayer and your final thoughts.
All right. Yeah, man. I had to catch myself a couple times, man, with old Vic, bro. I was like, bro, you finna have me around here crying, bro. Man, I'm talking about that's a testimony, that Dr. Real. I was like, man, that's what you call bounce back.
Bounce all the way back.
Man, I'm talking about like, and then just to know him personally and see how he moves and yeah, Doc. Yeah. So.
And you still gotta fight the demons. Yeah, right. Even though you still gotta fight them demons, because he still had urges to go back and do drugs and stuff like that, and you gotta pray and fight them urges, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So just the whole week was good, dealing with that. We had some little difficulties with the sound and all that stuff. I think all that happened for a reason, because it was needed what we were talking about. So we didn't let it fade us, though. We kept on pushing. So there we go. Let's pray. Most gracious Son of God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for just waking us up this morning, clothing us in our right mind, giving us reasonable portion of health and strength. Thank you for a great week. Lord, that we ask you to touch the week as we move forward. Continue to touch all our efforts and our successes and failures to make them be what you would have them to be. Continue to touch this podcast. Continue to touch everyone that views. And we actually do this in our Son Jesus' name. Man, we said amen.
Amen, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time.
Same bad place.
2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.